Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We're gonna run down the Money in the Bank card, as we do before every pay-per-view. Couple changes here and there, we'll mention them as we go, but for the most part, this card has remained fairly stable the last few weeks. But we got a brand new tag team match added to the pre-show, and that will be Daniel Bryan and Rowan, the brand new SmackDown Tag Champs, taking on the Usos.
That wild card rules really opened things up a little bit. But yeah, I don't expect it to result in a title change here.
By opening things up again, do you mean giving the Usos the chance to continue to compete on SmackDown as they have for God knows how long? Or do you mean save SmackDown's very weak tag team division?
I just mean that it just makes the possibilities a little more different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the same 2 or 3 people or teams in this case that you'll be facing back and forward every single week. As well as that, I don't think it's announced as being on the pre-show, but I'm pretty sure it'll be on there. Tony Nese defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Arya Daivari.
Yawn.
Yeah, you've previously mentioned your dissatisfaction, probably isn't the right word. You're not caring at all about many of the Cruiserweights now after the removal of Ali, Buddy, and Cedric. Just totally given up.
Yeah. WWE doesn't care. Why should I care?
You just boomed them, and they felt that. That was straight to the core. They're going to remember that. And in 5 years, they'll come after you for it. Either way, I have to throw a prediction down, so I'm going to say Tony Nese retains. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's too soon for him to lose it.
And that leads us on to one of the only non-quote-unquote title matches, Roman Reigns versus Elias.
This will be interesting to see how they book this.
Well, Elias sure has got himself some friends, but only one of his friends 2 of his friends are busy. 3 of his friends are busy. All of his friends are busy. I'm changing my opinion here. So I got a feeling he may have to go at this one alone. And Elias versus Reigns, I know Elias is a sneaky guy, but it's still Roman Reigns he has to go up against.
Yeah, it is, but Roman's been a lot more vulnerable than most people really realize in his booking. And I'm going with Elias to win.
Okay, you've gone with a wild card here, and not the wild card rule. I feel like the betting odds will not be in your favor. I'm gonna go with some non-finish. That leads us to not having a definitive winner. So I'll pick neither in the great grand scheme of winners here. But you're definitely right about Roman Reigns being more vulnerable. Since he returned, he'll win the big ones, but the ones that are not massive and really important, he's able to take the loss and drop there. So with him up against Elias as well, it may have sounded like I was counting Elias out in my earlier speaking. So let me clear that up. I'm not counting Elias out. Great talent, gonna do well in the upper mid card. You still put the 2 names together, and Roman Reigns, in theory, is the much higher name.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think this is more about building Elias up than it is anything to do with Roman. And that's why I'm picking Elias to win. Is I don't think it'll be in any way, shape, or form clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I do pick Elias to win.
Yeah. That's fair. I think some faith in Elias has clearly been shown, and that they have paired him with Shane McMahon, and that means a little bit of something. But that's also my my segue to the Shane McMahon match, which is the other non-title match happening on the card, and that's gonna be Miz versus Shane in a cage.
The Miz could get his moment, but that's just Shane winning. For the same reason I see Elias winning.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to get involved, because a cage doesn't keep anybody out anymore.
I don't know what you're talking about, okay? Those cages are super strong. They're not. Well, actually, they're strong, but, you know, they kind of built it without a roof.
Even the ones that have roofs on it don't keep people out.
They built it with a door. I feel like if you had no door, no roof, and you just had the competitors walk in, and then you just put it down on top of them, then there'd be a whole lot less chance of escape.
No, because then they would build it to where it would be surrounding the ring, and they could be under the ring.
I have no solution here. Absolutely none. Yeah, I'm actually with you on this one. I think Shane's going to pick up the win here. They've been building this almost as a Shane and Elias versus Reigns and Miz type thing because of the wild card rule. They've been able to jump around and shake it up and cross over these two feuds so much. So it'll be interesting to see, I think, combined these two together, who wins, you know, whether both heels walk away or whether one heel does and then another one gets to battle back. Or as you say, there's just interferences left, right, and center. Pick a championship, any championship. Literally any but the Intercontinental.
Yeah, that one's not on the line, and neither is the Raw Tag Team Championships that I know of.
So let's go with the US Championship, Samoa Joe defending against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I already said what I thought was going to happen in this match a couple weeks ago, and I haven't changed my mind on that.
You're still going with Dominic was actually Samoa Joe's kid. Gotcha.
No, I'm not going that, but I'm going, though that would surprise me if they go that route. No, I'm going Dominic helps Samoa Joe win the title.
Yeah.
Either, whether it's inadvertent or on purpose, I have a feeling that's what's going to happen.
I'm just going to agree. I think that's the way it's heading. Dominic will get involved in the match full stop, and I don't see Samoa Joe losing. So therefore you put 2 and 2 together, right? And that's the way it's just gotta go. As we said though, the Intercontinental Championship not being defended, Finn is slightly busy at the moment. You also pointed out the Raw Tag Team Championship. Don't want to know what's going on there. I really don't want to know what's happening at the moment. I'm just going to skip on right past it. But the Women's Tag Team also not on the line as well.
Yeah, the Iconics have been strangely missing a lot lately.
Well, they managed to show up to SmackDown to sit on commentary to watch the debut of a brand new tag team named the Kabuki Warriors take on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
So I have a feeling that that'll probably be Extreme Rules there between those two teams. And I'm fine with them dragging it out, since there's no need for them to do it. There was no need for them to do it at Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Not with all the major matches that they're having.
Yeah. There's a lot of high-profile ones, yeah. But what is happening for the woman is a Raw Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I think it depends on which one of the women's title matches occurs first, as to how this match actually plays out.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go with this being the second of the two title matches. Because I think that'll give Lacey more of a chance to win the title. Is if she has to battle a very weakened Becky Lynch after having to defend in a long match against Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where we're going, is that Charlotte and Becky will go first.
Yeah, I definitely think Charlotte losing to a tired Becky is a lot less believable than Lacey Evans losing to a tired Becky. So I'm with you on that in terms of match order for Becky Lynch's double duty.
Heck, if I'm booking it, I'd probably put him on right back to back to really put the struggles to Becky.
Mm-hmm.
As well as if she overcomes the odds, well, she's a major babyface because she had to face 2 major matches right in a row.
Yeah.
So, but I'm actually going to pick Lacey to win the title here.
Okay. So do you have Becky defending against Charlotte successfully?
Yes.
Okay.
I have her holding on to that title. Because Lord knows we don't need Charlotte having another reign at that. But yeah, I do think Becky loses one of the titles at Money in the Bank. Whether it's either to Charlotte or Lacey, or whoever wins the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, I'm now playing the odds game and looking at the betting odds, and I would like to point out that, quote-unquote, any other participant has higher odds than Lacey Evans of walking away champion. So people don't have a whole lot of faith in Lacey, but they do have a little bit of faith in maybe a Money in the Bank cash-in.
Which is why I think Lacey winning would be more appropriate. Because nobody expects it, 1. 2, if they cash in on Becky, that's to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
But if whoever wins ends up cashing on Lacey down the road, well, that makes them a major babyface. That gives them a push in that direction.
Yeah.
So, but anybody who cashes in on Becky is going to be a heel instantly.
Mm-hmm. I think, much like you mentioned earlier, it comes down to match order, but I'm going to include this Women's Championship match contract Money in the Bank match as well in the match order contentions. Obviously, if it's after a match, you're not going to be able to cash in on that one, but where it plays may also affect it, even if it's a case of teasing a cash in at the end of one, and then maybe teasing it a second time, maybe doing it, There's options depending on your ordering for these matches.
Yeah, I actually think the first match of the night will be the women's ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's also to really build in that suspense as well. But I think it goes first. Then Charlotte Becky will probably be somewhere around the end of the first, middle, of the second hour of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could see Lacey Becky either being right after or being like a half hour or so later, or somewhere around the end of the second hour to the middle of the third hour.
Yeah. Well, we will have to wait and see, and that is me doing my wrap-up, because it's time to play our entrance theme this week. For some reason, Josh picked El Generico. I don't know why. He hasn't been seen since he went to that orphanage. But maybe we're just getting a flash from the past, as we will play you now El Generico's theme. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM MPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and we still have half of this Money in the Bank card to get through with not a whole lot of time. So I'm going to put the pedal to the metal, and we will talk about the WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens.
Well, this is going to be interesting, but I don't think it's time to take the title off of Kofi, though he's had it a lot longer than I would have thought if they were going to take it off immediately. So I think he's going to hold it till probably SummerSlam, to be honest.
Okay.
Do you think that probably Big E probably makes a return?
Yeah, I think the lead up to this match has been real interesting. Obviously, Sami Zayn getting himself interfered and blah, 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 blah. But there's been cases where, Kofi's been like, Xavier, don't come out. And then Xavier would come out at the end and save him from a beatdown anyway, but it's like, okay, I can see that there is character development happening here. And is it the time for Big E to come back? I don't know what his injury status and everything is.
I think it was 4 to 6 weeks, which would put him right around Money in the Bank coming back.
Okay. So even if he needed a couple more weeks so he could come back in maybe not a heavy physical activity spot, we will see. But you're picking a Kofi Kingston defeating Kevin Owens here?
Yes.
That's fair enough. That's also the side of the coin that I'm going on, so I can't really debate you on that one. I'm interested to see where it goes, though. Hopefully, much like we were asking for months ago and then sort of got and then didn't get, we can separate Kevin and Sami. Please. We can't keep using our wildcard rule slots on them. And as for the New Day, I see a giant question mark in the air that may be erased and replaced with an exclamation mark after Money in the Bank. It's an old grammar joke. Universal Championship also on the line. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. It's the match you get when your buy rates are low.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. I think that's the one thing we're guaranteed here. I think Seth retains, but I could definitely see AJ turning heel after this match.
Mm-hmm. Someone's got it, right?
I don't know. Sometimes it's better not to, but I think that there's such a possibility to use not just AJ, but with like the bar it's not bar, club, and other members that he's been associated with in the past.
I love your skirting around. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, not just the Bullet Club people.
Yeah. You're still talking about your
people
TNA
from
faction.
Impact. Yeah. That there is definitely a possibility of creating a stable there around AJ.
And Raw doesn't have that many, I guess, strong heels at the moment. We got Drew, we got Corbin, Sami looks like he's positioning himself up there. Bobby Lashley just lost his mouthpiece.
And started talking in the third person.
I'm gonna ignore that all. But there's a spot there, I guess, for a top heel.
Well, it's hard for me to ignore that because I was sitting in the crowd when it started.
Bobby's gonna do whatever Bobby's gonna do. And you could have brought earplugs.
I didn't know he was going to be talking in the third person.
Why? You always prepare for Bobby Lashley talking in the third person. It's always a possibility. But with regards to this match, I worry. Last time there was a really big match. It was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and we were looking at it and we're going, there's no way this match is going to be great. And then we ended in like 5 minutes after a bunch of dick punching. Now, I'm hoping that that's not the direction we take with this one, and that we do actually get the really good match out of the two. But even if we do go the route where we get a shorter match now, the AJ heels turn, some form of stable, just, I guess, remember or look into the future enough to realize that these two will face off again and that we will get that good match. So even if this week isn't the week, a week in the future will be the week, and we will get that Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles biggin.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is a possibility. I just think they want to give everything that they can for this match. So I could definitely see it being a non-finish as well.
I always put way too much faith in it, and then I get disappointed, so I'm going to put no faith in it, and then be excited.
Sounds like a plan.
So I believe we're down to the Money in the Bank matches. Let's start with the women's, because we already talked a little bit about match placement. Who's walking out with the briefcase? And just a reminder, Nikki Cross isn't in the match.
But may factor into the... you know what? I'm picking Nikki Cross anyway.
Okay.
She's the one person, and this is something I've always wanted to see done.
You have?
That's crazy enough to get involved in the match and take a briefcase and claim it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the one person that is crazy enough to do that.
I mentioned her, and immediately I thought back, I'm like, isn't there someone I know who is constantly asking for someone to just grab the briefcase and, oh, it's Josh! Oh, yeah. Pretty sure this time, like, every year, you're like, oh, someone's gonna do it, someone's gonna do it. I could definitely see it. You know, we got little hints with James Ellsworth coming in and grabbing the briefcase and everything. You know, I could see Nikki coming out as a manager or a support to Alexa in her, like, calmness, and then somewhere nearing the end of the match, snaps, tips Alexa off the top of the ladder, climbs up, grabs the briefcase, and runs off with it, yeah? I would put that as legendary or really awesome.
I would love it. In all honesty, I think this is probably set up for Ember Moon to win.
No, I like this ending too much.
Yeah, I do. I really like just Nikki coming out of nowhere and taking it.
Mm-hmm.
But if that doesn't happen, I expect Ember to win it.
Okay. I feel for both of these matches, I'm going to mention this. The betting odds leader at the moment is Mandy Rose. By quite a margin.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't see her winning.
Okay. Let's get the Nikki Cross going. Alright, now we are on to the men's match. Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade, Randy Orton, and not quite Braun Strowman, because Sami Zayn took his spot.
He took my spot! Yeah. And after that happened, I'm like, oh my god, it's perfect. Sami can win this match and use it with his new gimmick. Perfectly. It's actually surprised me that he wasn't in the match to begin with.
They probably realized that mistake and have quickly tried to change it.
I'm picking Sami. I'm picking Sami to win the contract.
Okay. Well, we all know I'm picking Drew, so no change to this match would change that. Going with the obvious choice. I said I'd mention odds. On this one, we've got Drew McIntyre number 1, little bit of a gap, Andrade number 2, massive gap, the rest of the field. So, I'm just shrugging and going, it's gonna be Drew. It's gonna be Drew. Please be Drew.
I would keep an eye on those on Sunday, because I don't know what happens, but somehow something leaks out and those odds change.
Yeah.
I think one of the most famous ones was the WrestleMania 30 when Undertaker's streak was broken. There was a massive swing in the bet odds that day that changed from Taker to Rock.
Yeah, generally we call that insider trading if it was with stocks. I didn't say anything. I'm not accusing anyone of doing illegal things. But let's wait and see. I've still got my fingers crossed for Drew here. Because that's what I want to see.
I think Drew can win one of the titles without the briefcase. That's why I kind of backed off on him winning the briefcase.
Fair enough. I worry that AJ will be busy with Seth and occupying his time so that Drew cannot appear or cannot take the spot.
He could wild card over and take the WWE Championship.
This is always possible. Let's stop talking about this wild card rule because it still depresses me. But that is it for the Money in the Bank card, and that is it for the show this week. It's been great talking to you.
Bye, B.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, and we will see you next week with the results from Money in the Bank.